Kyle, I want to ask you about crypto nights. Here you are as one of these kind of Shark Tank style celebrity VCs. You got these companies coming on and pitching you. You know, it's kind of high Hollywood factor. What makes a guy like you decide to do something? I'm sure you got pitched these things over the years. The production value is super high. The quality of the firms are big. I know we both, I think, have invested in at least one of those companies. And it's now kind of being streamed live now on Amazon Prime. Tell me about Crypto Nights.
Yeah, so I have been pitched before to do it. And I really considered, if I would do it or not for a long time. I mean, the idea was originally pitched to me back during COVID, like 2021, to give some context of how long this has been in the works. And I kind of brushed it off at first. I didn't really know who Riaz was, who created the whole show. And as we got closer to actual production, when I started seeing the track record of the guys who created it, they shipped shows that have had, I think each of them had something crazy, over 50 or 100 million views or something like that, a ton of views. And I saw the production value of those previous shows that they'd done. I got quite interested. I've always wanted to do something like this because, all day at home, oftentimes I'm sitting on calls with projects pitching me, and I've gotten to the point where initially I was nice and listened, and now it's just like we really value our time, and so I'm straight to the point. Often, if I think that it's BS, I'll call BS. And I've tried to value my time, respect their time too, because if I'm not into it, let me just cut you off now and tell you that I'm not into it, and let's stop wasting both of our time. If I think that you're a scam, I'll tell you that you're a scam. If I think that there's no use for this token that you're trying to pitch me, when all value accrual happens in the equity side of the business, but you're trying to sell me this token, I'm going to let you know that kind of stuff. And so, my fiance, who you've met, Jessica, she always said, like, you should really try to put a lot of these calls on YouTube or something, because they're very entertaining. And I have a lot of calls, recorded where I'm yelling at founders for things that they're doing that are just dumb, naive, or pure criminal. And I can't just release these things. I think that's not an ethical thing to do. But finally, the opportunity came where we could get some of these pitches permissioned on both sides and put on TV. And I thought that was just a perfect opportunity to showcase kind of what it's like behind the scenes to actually be pitched by projects and then give honest feedback. And so, yeah, I was really impressed by also who else was on stage with me. And also, Adrian Grenier from Entourage, which was one of my favorite shows growing up. Yeah. And then when I was really impressed, when we stepped on set and saw the production value, it was just incredible. So I'm quite optimistic that because it is very similar to Shark Tank.
Peter Thiel took $500,000 and turned it into $1 billion using the exact same techniques we're using inside the investment club. He met a CEO, his name was Zuckerberg. He pitched him the deal and he said, okay, I'll give you $500,000. Mark went public and sold the shares to people like you. Well, what happened to Peter? Well, he exited and got a 2,300x return. The wealthy invest in early stage companies, folks. The public markets are for suckers. It's a rigged game. By the way, this happens in crypto as well. It's called pre-sale tokens. This is Solana. Does anybody know this chain? They sold pre-sale tokens for 4 cents. And you can see the date on there, April 5th, 2018. Look at Solana today, folks. That thing's up over 1,000x. The media and Wall Street and all these hype people get you to buy the top. Meanwhile, they put their clients in at the bottom and they use you for liquidity to make their clients rich. You can play this same game. You just have to have the financial education and the deal flow. That's it.
There's a few key differences though. One is Shark Tank has been around for 20 something years old. It's on primetime TV. And a lot of people still watch it, but I think less so. Maybe it's already peaked, and a lot of these guys are probably close to retiring. I think Cuban's out, if I believe. Mr. Wonderful is still doing it, but it's an older show where people are investing in like the next kitchen sponge or something, right? And it's on one hand that's appealing because it's so easily relatable to the audience. Ours is different. It's more difficult for a large audience to understand. I think that's something that we need to work on in season 2, which we'll be filming this summer. But it's a lot of this technology discussions is over the head of a lot of audience. And I watched, so far, I'm halfway through the season, watching it again, watching it over. And I think that they've done a pretty good job with the way that it's set up. So you have us, the judges, the knights, who are, the VCs. And then back in another room called the boiler room, you have a couple of people back there, Gav from Wolf Financial. And then we had someone called Kim Lee, who Kim's job was to be the voice of the person who doesn't understand crypto. So every time she doesn't understand something, she asks Gav back in the boiler room what's happening. And that was a really good job trying to explain some of the more difficult concepts to grasp that we were doing on stage. Plus, there's little captions that come up that explain different things. And so while it might be difficult for someone who had never watched crypto to understand some of it's not that difficult. I mean, you still get the drama, you still get the very funny moments. And for a lot of the projects, they're not so technical. We're talking about gaming projects or, whatever. So I think it's cool. And I think that people watch it. It's a good way for them to learn about crypto, to learn about investing. And it's a good way to know what kind of questions to ask, because as we evolve the financial infrastructure of the world, more and more access opens up to the 99%, the audience who's watching this show. And they don't know what kind of questions VCs ask. They don't know what questions to do their own due diligence. And they don't really know how to identify scams or not. The more that you watch this show, the more that you get to hear the questions that the VCs ask and what they care about. And so if you care about your financial future, if you care about trying to learn how to be a better investigator, due diligence, then the show is really good to watch, because you're going to learn as you go along, and you'll learn about blockchain. You'll learn about what we should be looking at when you're, identifying if something's investable or not.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.